Okay, so because I'm an absolute crazy person and I love learning the little nuances and differences between different microphone preamps, we've gone ahead and shot out 4 different styles of microphone preamps from AEA, API, Trident, and Warm Audio. In the last video, I went ahead and did a blind listen with you guys, and I made my best guesses. I got them written down right here, and we're gonna find out if I was right and if you were right by the end of this video. But before we do that, let's take a look at exactly how we did the shootout. So this whole thing started with the idea of let's record some live drums using 4 microphones on drums, because I have at least 4 channels of these different styles of mic pre's. So I picked 4 mics for the whole kit. We're gonna use the Soyuz 013 tube pencil condensers, spaced pair on overheads. On snare top, we're using the Lauten Audio snare mic. This is a brand new snare mic from them. I think it's like $400, but it's a large diaphragm condenser. And then on the kick, I just put in a Biodynamic M88, and we'll see how that sounds. My hope here is to get just a absolutely rockin' drum sound and perfect phase relationship between these 4 mics, and then not move anything. So that way we have as consistent of a sound between each mic pre as we can get. Here we go. All right, so Scott and I got some levels of these mics on drums and then decided that we were gonna record the exact same part on drums for each microphone preamp. Go to the kick mic pre, bring it down 1 notch, 1 click. Okay. And you know what? Give me 1 click up on the snare. Yeah, this Scott guy's a great engineer. After we recorded the actual drums on each part, I wanted to make sure that all of the levels were equal when comparing them. So I used peak level metering in Pro Tools and matched all of the peak levels of each mic pre. This is where it gets really interesting, because even though the meters were peaking all at the same levels between each mic pre, when I went through and listened, there was a not insignificant loudness difference between them. Now, that's kind of like a whole other topic, but what I wanted to do was compare the tonality of the preamps without there being loudness differences in levels. So instead of using peak metering, we switched to RMS metering, and then I matched the levels of the clips using clip gain to basically get the same average loudness across each take. So after I did that, and we went through and switched between the different takes, all of the loudness of them was nearly indistinguishable. And also I think it makes for a much fairer comparison if you're picking the mic pre based on color and tone. So now that all of the levels between the different takes are nearly perfectly matched, here's the results of those takes.
The results are in. You actually did really well.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, let's start with drums only. Take 1, I guessed Trident.
Correct.
Yes. Take 2, I guessed Warm Audio.
Correct.
Oh, let's just savor this for later. Okay. Take 3, I guessed API.
Correct.
Yes. Take 4, AEA. Of course.
Yeah, you nailed it.
Okay, so after this point in the comparison, we decided let's not stop at drums. Like let's record a couple other things, like the Juno synth keyboard, so we can get some melodic information coming out direct from the synth to the preamps that can, give us some more context of the differences between these preamps. And then let's also record bass guitar so we can get some low frequency information. So we did that. My buddy Rafael is gonna come through and lay down some bass. We're gonna do DI and amp I'm excited. 3, oh. Here's the results. Drums and bass, take 1. Warm audio.
Correct.
Oh, yes. Take 2. Drums and bass, API.
Correct.
Oh. Drums and bass, take 3. Trident.
That's wrong.
Oh. Okay. So take 4 was Trident.
Yeah.
Take 3 was AE8 and take 4 was Trident.
So you just switched those two.
That's really surprising because I think they sound quite different. All right, now we're gonna do keys. Scott's gonna play some baby making 90s vibes. Going line out, we're hitting a pedal chain, and then we're going DI into the mic pre's. This video has been an awful lot of patching. A lot of patching and a lot of matching of levels. You did it. You should play keys. Here's the results. My guesses in order were take 1, API.
Correct.
Oh, take 2, Trident.
Correct.
Okay. Take 3, AEA.
Correct.
Yes, and take 4, Warm.
You got it.
Dude, so I got 2 wrong.
Yeah, 10 out of 12. That's a B.
I was going to say my confidence went way down when we started adding things in, so that's surprising.
I don't think I could have done that.
I'm very proud. It got real weird with the keys. What did you guess? Let us know down in the comments. Also, files. If you want these files, there's a link in the description. Go download them. That was fun.
Yeah.
Good shit. Okay, so after we did the drum takes first, and I listened through the different drums on each preamp, the biggest surprise to me were the AEA preamps. If you've never used AEA preamps, like to me, like my only association with them is that they're very clean preamps. They don't really have a specific color to them, but man, the low end sustain of the kick drum on the AEAs and the clarity of the snare drum and the overheads using just the 4 mics was unbelievable from the AEAs. That was not an expectation of mine. The APIs were definitely the darkest sounding, but also very full and very warm. They sounded big. And I actually think there's a good argument that having a preamp that's a little bit darker on the front end, but still has that fullness is probably a good thing down the line. Whereas maybe if the preamp was a bit brighter up front, you might have to tame that down the line, especially in the mix. Now the Tridents, to me, have what I think of as like a classic hi-fi sound. Whenever I've recorded drums on this Trident, I'm reminded of like Queen I'm only saying this because I know that Queen's Bohemian Rhapsody was mixed on a Trident A range, not an A range, but they're both Tridents. And that's just the feeling I get. And the Warm Audio 73s to me are just the most familiar to my ears. I came up using big Neve consoles with 1073s in them and other 1081s, and those just sound the most familiar to me. I love them and they are awesome. So after listening to everything all together, my initial feeling is they all sound really great. Surprise, surprise. Now I'm leaving this experiment personally feeling like I want to do more mixing and matching of instruments with different preamps, because you essentially want to pick the preamp that's going to complement the instrument or the source that you're recording the best. The preamp should be looked at in the signal path the way an artist looks at colors, right? There's no, hey, what's the best color? You want to pick the right color that makes the most sense for the entire picture, right? And in this case, the entire picture is the song. Now, of course, this applies to obviously the entire signal chain, and you want to think about your signal path like in order. So the best thing you do is pick the right instrument for the part, and then the right microphone that complements that instrument in the mic placement, and then the best mic pre that adds the right color for that whole thing. Compression, EQ, it all makes a difference. And also something to consider when thinking about this and planning this from the beginning is what's gonna be right for the mix. So much of the mix can be accomplished in the recording process if you make the right decisions along the way. And this can be both a pro and a con, but hopefully the tracking engineer or you or whoever's doing it made thoughtful decisions along that way so that basically everything just sits exactly how it should, and then you can make really creative and artistic decisions in the mix instead of trying to fix problems. If you're the recording engineer like I am and you know what the goal is for the song, it is your job to make those creative decisions. Also, using whatever you have access to. Now, if you're brand new to all of this and maybe you're just trying to get started, go check out my video course down in the description. It's a mini video course called The Recording Studio. If you're just about ready to dip your toes in and you think this might be for you, check it out, it's $10. If you want more details on any of the gear that we used in this shootout or any of the gear I have here in the studio, I have links to all of the gear down in the description. There are affiliate links that take you to Sweetwater. A lot of the sales engineers at Sweetwater, I know personally, are former mix engineers and successful people from the music industry. I even know some of them who have won Grammy. So like, you never know, talking to your sales engineer, they might have some really, really great advice for you. So check out those links down in the description, and thank you Sweetwater for sponsoring this video. If you want to download these files, they're down in the description as well. Check all the stuff down there. Hit the like button, subscribe if you want to see more videos like this, and we'll see you in the next one.